Hello everyone and welcome to Salty DIY. Today we're taking these wicker baskets and transforming them into these chic looking bags. I will show you two methods. One is sewing from scratch using scrap fabric, and another way is an easy hack where we just use our existing tote bags for the bag's body. I will show you how to sew neatly around the edges and also how to attach the fabric when you want an exposed rim style. So let's start with the easy upcycle hack. First, we will measure around the opening of the basket. I use cloth pins to hold down the measuring tape. Now we will look for a tote bag that is at least half the measurement you got. Next, measure the length, that is how tall you want the bag to be. We will add 2 centimeters, about an inch, for the seam allowance. We will turn it inside out and slot it over the basket. So the bottom of the bag is on the basket's rim. For this pink bag, it is 2 centimeters wider than the basket's rim. So I taper the side by sewing a 1 centimeter dot. And I start sewing from the middle area down to the base. So this pink bag only has a seam on one side of the bag. So if you want like a more balanced looking bag, you can sew half a centimeter dot on both sides, and that will like make the bag more symmetrical. Now we can start with our first round of blanket stitches. With wicker, there are usually some space for the needle to go through. I'm using wax thread for making leather bags. They are much thicker and stronger. So let me flip it to the right side. So you see that the blanket stitches are visible. So you can see the legs poking out. So to hide them, we'll do an extra row of back stitches right underneath the blanket stitches. For this basket, I'm using the vertical stems on the back as a guide. So I just do my back stitches around these vertical stems. Try to keep them equal distance from the basket's rim. For the pink bag, I just use these 2 holes on the side of the diamond shape, as a guide. This extra round of back stitches will create a smooth finish for your basket bag. For the third bag, we will sew up 2 rectangles into a drawstring bag. We will also add a flower tab for the drawstrings. I saw that on Pinterest and want to try it. For the fabric's width, we need 1/2 the measurement of the basket's opening plus 2 centimeters for the seam allowances. So I was only able to cut out a 14 centimeter tall rectangle, which is not tall enough for the drawstring slot and the back bottom's allowances. So what we can do to prevent it from fraying and also add strength to the fabric is to iron on some interfacing right on the zigzag edges. Now sew up the sides, leaving a gap for the drawstring. After that, we will iron the seams open. When we fold this part down, there will be an opening for the drawstring to go through. Next, we snip off the corners to reduce bulk and fold down 1.5 centimeters. So I'm using this part of the sewing foot as a guide to keep the sewing line straight. I'm using this wax thread, and I'm still amazed that it's the same color as my basket. So I push the bag into the basket with the right sides of the bag facing outside. We would do 2 rounds of back stitches. For this basket, the wicker is kind of crunchy, and I broke off a piece with my needle. So I think this can be avoided by prepping the basket. So you can wrap the basket in a wet towel for a few minutes to soften it up. This will also help prevent the wicker from splitting. Next step is inserting the drawstring. So here I use an elastic cord. This step actually took longer than sewing the entire bag because the cord kept getting stuck under the seam allowances. Now, the fun part is making the flower tab to cover the cord's end. We cut out a small square piece of fabric and then we fold it origami style. I'm going to use this as the handle. We're going to attach the handle onto the basket instead of the fabric. If we sew it onto the fabric, when we put things into the bag, it will most probably rip off the bottom.